With the reopening of the U.S. Embassy in Havana and the Cuban Embassy in D.C. this week, relations with the Caribbean island nation are the best they've been in half a century. So you may be wondering how to get there before hordes of Americans descend on its long forbidden shores. Here with some tips is MarketWatch's Katie Hill. Katie, great to see you. So there are now 12 categories of legal travel to Cuba, but pure tourism is not one of them.
Right. No mojitos on the beach. That's not really happening. You can't just sit there and chill out. You do it's education. There's a bunch of reasons now.
Right.
But yeah, religious activities, educational activities, humanitarian.
You can even sign up to run a marathon.
Right. I mean, I
have some friends doing that.
Athletic activities, great. Yeah.
And it's never been easier to get there, right? There are now weekly flights from JFK on JetBlue.
JetBlue, through a charter service, is flying there. There's plenty of charter flights there. You can book them online at Cheap Air now.
So you can buy tickets to Cuba online at cheapair.com.
Yep.
So what do you need to do to prove that you're going down for one of these reasons? It's all on the honor system, right?
Right. So now you used to have to do a bunch of paperwork to get down there. Now, right, you don't have to fill out quite that much paperwork to get down there, but you do have to go for one of these reasons. If they find out you're not going for one of these reasons, if you've been sitting on the beach chilling out, that is no good. But you don't have to do all this paperwork anymore.
You could be fined, although there are no stories of anyone yet being fined.
Right. Maybe they're turning the other way, but don't do it.
But don't
not
do
recommending
it. It's
that
not right. It's not. It's not worth the risk. Now, of course, and you can also book rooms through Airbnb now.
Right. So they recently just put a whole bunch of rooms on Airbnb, which is good because hotels in Cuba are hard to get and they're pricey. There's just not enough infrastructure yet for this big influx of tourists.
And there are even cruises to Cuba.
Right. So Carnival has this new line called Fathom. It's basically their social impact line, and because it's social impact, it's going to Cuba. That's next year, but you will be able to go there. It's a lot pricier than a normal one of their cruises, but it's still kind of
What
cool.
does it cost?
It's $3,000 roughly.
Right. So this falls under the umbrella of those people-to-people trips that have been going to Cuba for years under these licenses that are they're either bringing humanitarian aid or it's an exchange with the Cuban people. So these groups are another way of going. Insight Cuba, Plaza Cuba.
That's right.
Have been doing it for years.
That's right. Now Abercrombie and Kent has a trip, so there's quite a few of these. And they're going under what's a people-to-people license, and there's a ton of tour
And
groups.
they've done the work for you.
Right. So then you don't have to the visa and they do it all.
They do it
all. Book your flights. They do it all for you.
What are the prices for something like that?
They really range. Sometimes they're under $3,000, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're over, $8,000, $9,000. So it really is a range. I mean, they're pretty cool. There's a lot of different things you can do on these tours. I mean, I was like, I want to go here. I want to do this when I was looking through it.
You can go on a jazz tour, a dancing tour,
culinary tour. I mean, there's a lot of different options.
And it's pretty much all inclusive, these trips, except for airfare.
Right. And sometimes they do include airfare. So it really depends on you kind of have to do your homework on these. Sometimes they include airfare, sometimes they don't, but they usually are pretty all-inclusive, so it's kind of great.
Bottom line, it's never been easier in the past 50 years, but what do you need to remember to bring down there with you?
Okay, you need a passport, you need a visa, you need proof of health insurance, and you really need to bring cash because a lot of these establishments are not taking U.S. credit cards, so...
That's coming soon, right?
Yeah,
but it hasn't yet kicked in.
But you still can't just assume that you're going to go swipe and pay everything.
Right. All right. Katie, thank you so much for that.